What's the easiest zombies Easter egg? If you said the giant from Black Ops 3, you're right, but that'd make for a boring video. So on to the second easiest zombies Easter egg, Die Maschine from Cold War. If you end up liking this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. This will help me know what you want to see more of, and it'll help me hit my goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. It was a park kind of day, so after getting a ride from everyone's favorite Cold War Texas hunk Raptor 1, I got to punching zombies despite the fact that they would probably infect me and I had a fully loaded shotgun. My question is, why do I punch zombies with my fists but Bowie knife them via the melee upgrade path with a gun out? Wouldn't it have made more sense to just, I don't know, knife them when I have my fists? Hell, it's probably faster to grab your knife when your gun's already away. Logic aside, I appreciate that in this game, you hit zombies with your guns and fists, at least until you upgrade the melee tree. I wanted to start doing Easter egg videos on my channel to see if it works with my preferred post-commentary style, and figured that Die Maschine would be a fine place to start. It was a slow day at work, and this Easter egg is easily doable in under an hour, even if you're not some heavy optimization nerd like myself, who tends to never take map shortcuts. Please don't tell my boss. Really, this is a great Easter egg to start with if you've never done one before, due to how short and simple it is. They say the same about me, wink. I also want to try to do some Black Ops 4 main quests without the heli and salvo, maybe even just with an Essex or something crazy like that. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd want to see. Finally, after almost 5 full rounds of knifing zombies in the spawn room, I had enough points to open up almost every door in the map. I made my way into this bunker. Yes, I know what it looks like, but it's totally knocked the map you're thinking of.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Seriously, Noct is the Pokemon Red and Blue of the zombies world, because we've seen it in some iteration a million times. I kept progressing through the map until getting in the evil Nazi bunker TM. I do feel that Cold War falls flat atmospherically, being weaker than even Vanguard in that department, but there's a genuine eeriness when you enter areas where the only light comes from your flashlight, and I wish they did more of that. It would really help mitigate how boring the operators and story characters are. I reached the power station and flipped the power, completely ignoring the various quotes because stories for nerds, coincidentally the motto for Rings of Power. I entered the Shadow Realm, grabbed a fuse underneath the floating airplane part for later, and entered the Ether Tunnel. This allowed me to grab the Pack-a-Punch machine because operators don't skip the gym or something, and forge the machine. But not the Die Maschine. That refers to like 3 different things on this map. I returned to the light side only to go back through a wormhole to run around and grab some glowy things. Said glowy things spawn fart dogs whenever you pick them up. They were called plague hounds, but someone said something mean to Kevin Drew's brother, and now they're called fart dogs. After spraying some Febreze, I led the dogs down to the weapons lab and killed one next to this vacuum in order to trap his gas. I think one of the developers had a Dutch oven kink. After buying some armor drip, as the kids would say, I built the ether scope to turn into Danny Phantom before jumping into the portal to find some ghosts. I found Ulrich Vogel's diary and, after tweeting all his most embarrassing secrets, found his ghost in 3 separate locations so I could get his PH Premium password. Yes, if you've seen my Elemental Wonder Weapon video, I'm reusing the password joke. It's Zombies dad jokes, not Zombies Louis C.K. jokes. I'm not gonna start After Vogel's many musical numbers, I entered the password to initialize this magic sauna and ended the round. Round 6 was a Plague Hound round, but thankfully Cold War let me just spawn in with a fucking shotgun, so they're not a threat. I'm not saying there isn't a way to balance loadouts, something similar to World War II or Black Ops 4 systems, but the way it's been done to this point in time definitely kills progression. It'd be like finding a time capsule in Subnautica with all the tools right under your life pod in the beginning. It doesn't break the game per se, but it does cut down on the build up to a significant degree. Next up, Megatron. Oh, sorry Transformers fans. I meant a Megaton spawned in. I led him down to the lake for a nice dip so he could shoot a mushroom to make it glow. Having played this map a million times, I know that I needed to acquire and make all the upgrades for the Wonder Weapon, and the mushroom juice would be needed. After chopping this third-party Hulk in half, I dealt with his Hydra minions and picked up a key, trying to leave as many zombies as possible. I bought everyone's favorite body pillow of a perk Juggernog and used the key to open a drawer and pick up a DIE remote, which scanned for the decompressing isotopic estrangement machine. Get it? DIE? Like die? I don't have gray hair to make that stupid joke, so I have to do it myself. I want overtime pay for this one. Inside the Noct bunker, I activated the DIE through a hole in the wall and it went dicing on these zombies, but sadly I didn't have enough to fill it up. I had a sneaking suspicion that I was close though, and sure enough, the game trolled me because I only had had one left. I activated the weapon through the wall again and popped my completely fair and balanced ability Ether Shroud to escape a jam and pick up the DIE Shockwave Wonder Weapon. I made my way back to the top of the building, shot a crate off the roof before sucking up a canister and picking it up. I made my way to the lake and touched some large glowing balls like I was at McDonald's and interacted with the crate and put in the canister in the area where I got the fart dog gas. Don't tell Christina Perry, but I've just replaced the jar of hearts with the jar of farts. I placed the jar in this crate by the plane and acquired the DIE Nova 5. I then picked up the beaker and set it down underneath the mushroom before blasting one of the legs on the chamber from earlier. I've said it twice before and I'll say it a third time. This main quest is the only reason to craft the gas, ice, and fire upgrades for the Shockwave. Back up top I went, grabbing the now full beaker and opening this crate on the truck. After Strauss's terrible pun,
All it being described as, that's right, a great ball of fire.
I returned to the chamber with the single worst Shockwave upgrade, the Thermophasic, shooting one of the weenies before getting the Cryer Emitter upgrade and shooting another leg. I immediately put the ice upgrade away because I find that using anything other than the base Shockwave and crafting the Electrobolt causes issues. Into a portal in the magic circle room I went to suck up some light from crystals, or whatever this shit is, I don't know. The story's all in documents in Cold War, and I'm not gonna read all that or watch a lore video. I grabbed the first crystal's power from the roof of the Noct bunker and shot it at this crate back in the Atom Smasher area. Next I went back up and into the lake area, sucking up the second crystal. I don't know what the hell happened. I went back to the light side after having only 2 crystals. You can absolutely get 3 in one run, but maybe it's because I didn't have stamina. Just goes to show how busted Cold War stamina up is. Maybe the best perk in Zombies history. Since I got screwed over by Park's poor choice in running shoes, I had to wait for an anomaly to show up. Should've went with the Air Monarch's Helen. To rectify the slowness, I grabbed Stamina up at the start of round 9. Fun fact, when you upgrade it enough, this also negates fall damage, but that doesn't come into play enough to matter. At least in the normal maps. Maybe on Outbreak it does, but that requires having to play Outbreak. I grabbed a nuke, which diminished my points, but round 10 gave me plenty of opportunities thanks to my knife still one-shotting zombies. Finally, after she-bopping zombies, the anomaly reappeared and I was able to probe the last crystal and fired it at the crate, grabbing the Electrobolt, the best variant by miles. Taking advantage of still being in the dark ether, I went up to the roof of Noct and bought Death Perception. As a Black Ops 4 wanker, if you told me that I'd buy Death Perception at all, I'd tell you to throw me down the garbage disposal. I shot the last ticklish toe on Der Wischler before entering yet another portal and watching Rocky and Bullwinkle here talk about their plan to steal a golden nose sucker in order to buy houses in the country. I don't blame them. Those things are a godsend if you have sick kids. But why are these Soviets speaking English with each other anyway? After upgrading my armor to tier 2, I went topside, remembering I forgot to grab the purple wrench of destiny. Now back topside with the purple wrench of destiny, I banged on this tank 3 times, but instead of being transported back to Kansas, a zombie popped up. After killing him, I tossed a grenade up to the top of the tank and it fired at some trees. Going by the crashed plane, some plague hounds spawned to try and steal the nose sucker. They weren't fast enough to stop a dad with 3 kids. Trust me, there's no such thing as a clean nose, and when one person is sick, you're all sick. After putting this thing in the wall, I ended the round and pack-a-punched the DIE Electrobolt. On round 12, another Megaton graced me with his radioactive presence, so I fried his buff form to reveal 2 scrawny dudes in a trench coat. The plan was now simple. Lure them beneath Der Wischler to get abducted by the Majora's Mask aliens. Thankfully, the Nazis were extremely kind and drew a blue circle to show you where to lead the Megaton twins. Don't be fooled though. In case you haven't heard, they've done a few questionable things before. I attempted to play some old school RuneScape on this computer, but I accidentally restored consciousness to a now reformed Megaton who escaped. Oh well, quest failed. Time to go home.
This isn't over. Get after him now.
Damn it. I dealt with the hounds on round 13 as well as another Megaton. The Electrobolt further proving Treyarch has a hard-on for shocky wonder weapons. Purchased Quick Revive and cashed in some salvage for a death machine at the crafting table. Back in Not Knocked, I entered another portal so I can listen to Orlov's life story about his wife and daughter. Zombies normally aren't supposed to attack you during this, but my dumbass attacked a plague hound and every enemy came my way, including a red Megaton, so I couldn't cry about how tragic life was for Orlov. Feeling adequately set up, I grabbed the picture, teleporting me into the particle accelerator chamber with the big guy himself. I ignored his pity party to upgrade my Howler via the pack-a-punch and weapon rarity. Boss fight time! So the gist of this is that you have to kill zombies and protect our new buddy Orlov so he can shut down all the safety measures and blow up the accelerator. Sounds kinda tough, right? Well, Orlov can't actually die. You have access to an ammo crate and armor station, the Pack-a-Punch machine, the DIE Electrobolt's a beast, Tier 5 Ether Shroud is broken beyond belief, you have access to any support you brought with you, and you pick up ammo and armor plates from fallen enemies. But other than that, totally hard. I shouldn't actually gloat because I actually did fail this earlier the day I recorded it. But that's okay. Listen, I know that hardcore fans of classic zombies tend not to like Cold War because of its lack of difficulty. I don't hate it myself, but it's definitely a once every few months type of game. But trying to make the Easter egg more accessible wasn't a horrible thing itself. Treyarch themselves said that less than 2% of people completed classic Easter eggs, with maps like Voyage of Despair on Black Ops 4 having under a 0.3% completion. I'm not really an Easter egg kind of player myself. I prefer to just shoot zombies, but I wouldn't mind if Black Ops 6 had harder Easter eggs. I know they have a guided mode, which is a great compromise for those who just want to experience the story. I'm sorry if you wanted more commentary on the boss fight itself compared to my thoughts on the game, but there's not really much to say. I got up to level 3 armor and was able to replenish faster than I lost it, and it was the same with ammo. Combine that with all the stuff I ranted about earlier, on top of Juggernog and the faster healing from Quick Revive, and the fact that I also pack-a-punched my DIE Electrobolt to rank 2, and the fight is somewhat fun, but you really aren't at risk of dying as long as you keep moving. I'm sure it'd be harder if you don't have all the upgrades that I have, but when you've played so long, eventually you just kind of get everything. Tangent over, my pal Orlov overrode the final console, and that was my cue to get the hell out of there. Once the purple barrier disappeared, I snuck past the Raigeki geysers and cut my way through Noct and out the back. I have to say, this escape is a pretty sweet set piece that could get you killed if you act dumb. Thankfully, I resisted the urge to do this time and rode off into the sunset as I left a crater in Poland. Sorry, Grandpa. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more Easter eggs, please let me know in the comments and let me know what else you might want to see from me. I'm open to anything that doesn't involve the Disney Channel series Dog with a Blog.